letibuke tekuthula khona lapha esifundzeni lesisendasini livekati le-Afrika. Imbube emhlaba ke nebaholi bonke itangwenela sona sigaba sekucala sekuvulwa kwawo umhlangano lomhla lapha enhlokodolobha yelive le-Republic of Zimbabwe. Ninebonke silenhleke lomhla kulomhlangano sibhekile ukuthi kube netinkhulumi letehlukehlukene letifaya ekhathi loyo lotawubeka phasi sona sikhundla sekuba ngusihlalo lokungumengameli welive le-Angola. Kanti ke sitaphe sesibona naloyo lothatha sona sihlalo lesihlangene ngaye namhla lapha eveni le-Republic of Zimbabwe lokutoba nguye mengameli walo live le-Zimbabwe. Nilebonke silenhleke lokunye langakuveta kulomhlangano walamhla kungukuthi kunetinhlangano letinye letisekela lona livekati le-Afrika naso sifundza lesisendasini livekati le-Afrika kutentuthuko letehlukehlukene letichamuka etinhlangothini temhlaba. Ninebonke silenhleke letitaba ingcenye yawo umhlangano. Ninebonke silenhleke asesingene ngekhathi emhlanganweni sibone lona lihlelo kokuthi engabe litawuchubeka kanjani emhlanganweni wamashumi lamane nakune wenhlangano yaka-SADC.
There are many seats available, plenty of seats. Just recognizing the Vice Presidents of the Republic of Zimbabwe just walked into the room. Vice President CGDN Chiwenga and Vice President Kembo Mohadi.
Imagine uma região pacífica, inclusiva, competitiva, de rendimento médio-alto e industrializada. Uma região em que todos os cidadãos gozam de bem-estar económico sustentável, de justiça e de liberdade.
Our distinguished First Ladies, led by the First Lady of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Celia Mnangagwa, walking into the room. Just to let you know, distinguished delegates, our VVIPs have just finished the photo session. Any minute, they will be walking into the room. We will ask that you all stand up when they walk into the room. We will let you know when that is happening. And then they will remain standing. Then the national anthems, the SADC anthem as the AU anthem, will be sung by the beautiful voices of the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers and the St. Mary's High School Choir. Once again, our language channels are English, Channel 1, French, Channel 2, Portuguese, Channel 3, and Swahili, Channel 4. Ladies and gentlemen, may we all stand for the arrival of His Majesty, the Excellencies, Heads of State and Government into the hall. Please, let's put our hands together as they walk in. Your Excellencies, if we can remain standing. If we can please remain standing for the national anthems that will come up shortly, SADC anthem as well as the AU anthem, as our VVIPs all walk into the room. Thank you. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's remain standing and I now invite the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers and the St. Mary's High School Choir to give us first the Zimbabwe National Anthem, the SADC Anthem, and finally the AU Anthem.
Never
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll put our hands together as we take our seats. Your Excellencies, Your Majesty, distinguished heads of state and government, our vice presidents, our first ladies, honorable ministers, Speaker of Parliament, President of Senate, President of the Pan-African Parliament, ambassadors who are here, all distinguished delegates. Thank you, and a warm welcome to you, Your Majesty, Your Excellency, President Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, who's the host president, who's my president, affectionately referred by everybody as ED. Those that saw the video that was playing much earlier, he says, I'm ED, is commonly and lovingly referred to as ED. Distinguished heads of state and government, vice president, honorable ministers, and everybody in the room, we're here for the official opening session of the 44th Ordinary Summit of SADC Heads of State and Government, coming to you live at the new Parliament building in Zimbabwe's capital city, Harare. This area is called Mount Hampden. The SADC Summit, distinguished delegates, is responsible for the overall policy direction and control of the community, ultimately making it the policy-making institution of SADC. So that is why we are here. Let me just tell you, Your Excellencies, Your Majesty, it's a bit of a small miracle that I'm here standing before you this morning, because last night I got a call from Foreign Affairs Ministry, and the gentleman at the end of the line said to me, is that Super? I said, yeah, Ndini, which means it's me. And he says, you are ED tomorrow morning at the official opening of the 44th Ordinary Summit. I said, what? He said, you are ED. I just told you our president is affectionately referred to as ED. So obviously after realizing that there's a bit of a shock on the other side of the line, he says, no, you are ED, Events Director. So I am here as the Events Director. It's such an honor, Your Majesty, distinguished Excellencies, Honorable Vice Presidents, Ministers, First Ladies, Ambassadors, and all esteemed delegates here, to have this honor and remarkable opportunity to be directing the King, the Presidents, this morning. I have this honor not just to myself. I would like at this stage to introduce my co-ED. She hails from the beautiful country of Zambia, as well as working in Botswana as part of the SADC Secretariat. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce my co-host, my co-MC, the versatile Barbara Lopi.
Thank you, ED, Your Majesty, Your Excellencies. A very good morning to you all and happy SADC Day. Today, on this day, 32 years ago, the Southern African Development Community was transformed into SADC in Windhoek, Republic of Namibia. And this is why we commemorate 17th August as SADC Day. So happy SADC Day to you all. Allow me to introduce their excellencies and heads of states who are up here. We have His Majesty King Mswati III from the Kingdom of Eswatini. His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, the President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of SADC. His Excellency Dr. Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and incoming Chairperson of SADC. We have Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and incoming Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. She's female, we need another applause. Thank you. We have from the Democratic Republic of Congo, His Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, the President and outgoing Chairperson of SADC. The Republic of Namibia, we have His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, the President and outgoing Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Republic of Malawi, the home heart of Africa, we have His Excellency Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera. The Republic of South Africa, we have His Excellency Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. Republic of Mozambique, we have His Excellency Philippe Jacinto News. My apologies, he's not here yet, but he should be joining us. Republic of Botswana, we have His Excellency Dr. Mokwesi Kiabeswe Masisi. Republic of Madagascar, His Excellency Andry Nirina Rajolina. The Kingdom of Lesotho, the Kingdom in the Sky, the Right Honorable the Prime Minister, Mr. Samuel Eswatini Matekan. The Republic of Mauritius, we have the Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Louis Stephen Obegadi. The Republic of Zambia is represented by Honorable Mulambo Haimbe, State Council MP, Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Republic of Zambia. We have from the Union of Comoros, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Mohamed Mbaye. Last but not the least, from the head of states and government representatives, we have His Excellency Ambassador Claude Morel, Special Envoy of the President of the Republic of Seychelles. Up front here, we also have His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Frederick Shava, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, but also the Chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers. Last but not the least, up there we have His Excellency Mr. Elias Mpedi Mahosi, the Executive Secretary of SADC. In our midst, we also have the representatives from the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, His Excellency Clever Gatete, who is the Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of UNECA. We also have our Vice Presidents for the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Retired General Dr. Constantine Chibengwa, Vice President. Retired Colonel Kembe Mohadi, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. We also have the Speaker of Parliament, Comrade Jacob Mdenda, the President of the Senate, Comrade Mabel Chinomora. We also have representatives from the international and continental and regional organization. I won't mention them by name, but we have the President of the Arab Bank of Economic Development for Africa, BADIA. We have representatives from Africa, from the African Development Bank. We have the representative from Africa CDC, SADC Parliamentary Forum. The First Ladies were also recognized, including Amai Mnangagwa. And all SADC citizens who are here, our members of the diplomatic community, ICPs, who are represented here, you are all welcome to this 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. Our program, we are running short, is as follows. We will start with introductory remarks from the Executive Secretary of SADC. Thereafter, we will have a welcome speech from our host president here, and we will tell you about the rest of the program. May I now invite His Excellency Mr. Elias Mahosi to come and deliver his remarks from this podium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ED and Deputy ED. I hope we don't have any ambitions of being the other ED, but it's good to dream. Your Majesty Kim Swati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, President of the Republic of Angola and the Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Dr. Emmerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and incoming Chairperson of SADC, and our host of the 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency Felix Anton Tshisekedi Chilombo, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo and the outgoing Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and the Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and the incoming Chairperson of the SADC organ, Your Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, the President of the Republic of Namibia and the outgoing Chairperson of the organ, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, or your representatives or their representatives, Your Excellency General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency Colonel Retired Kembo Mohadi, the Vice President of this great republic, Your Excellency Ambassador Dr. Frederick Shava, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and our Chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, Your Excellency Mr. Clava Katete, Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers here present, Ambassadors, High Commissioners and members of the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of our partner institutions, regional, continental and international organizations, members of the Fourth Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning, I believe. Good morning and a happy SADC Day to you all. The 17th. Your Excellencies, it is an honor and privilege to stand before you today to deliver the introductory remarks at this 44th Ordinary SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. Let me also extend my profound gratitude to the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe for graciously hosting the 44th SADC Summit and for the warm hospitality extended to all delegations. The excellent arrangements for this summit and all preceding meetings is testament to the commitment of the government of Zimbabwe to the ideals and aspirations of SADC. Your Excellencies, the 44th SADC Summit is held under the theme Promoting Innovation to Unlock Opportunities for Sustained Economic Growth and Development towards an Industrialized SADC. This theme takes us further on a transformative journey towards industrialization, which started right here in Zimbabwe through the directive of the 34th SADC Summit to place industrialization at the core of the SADC regional agenda. The theme provides a unique opportunity to shape the future of our region and the steps we must take to accelerate progress on our industrialization agenda. To this end, the region should continue to harness the power of innovation to accelerate implementation of key regional value chains and promote technological transfer to increase manufacturing of value-added products and ultimately realize economic growth and prosperity of our region. To date, intra-regional trade stands at a very low level of about 23%, signifying that as SADC member states, we are trading more with the rest of the world than we do amongst ourselves. One of the culprits, if I can call it, driving these low levels of intra-regional trade is the usual suspect, non-tariff barriers. I think the ministers of trade would relate with this one. Despite the zero import duty of 85% of products traded among the SADC member states, intra-SADC importers and exporters continue to encounter new and long-standing unresolved non-tariff barriers. It is therefore imperative to rededicate our collective efforts to implement measures to reduce these barriers and promote intra-regional cooperation and integration. The benefits of an enlarged regional market to the SADC economy and citizens cannot be overemphasized. Our collective market of approximately 389 million people and a combined gross domestic product of about US$841 billion provides an enormous potential for trade and investment opportunities as well as economic growth. In our quest to facilitate enhanced inter-regional trade within our community, your Secretariat is compiling, as we speak, information to produce a list of what we call top 10 exports and imports of SADC member states, and on what the region trades with the rest of the world. This will be used to develop strategic interventions and actions to improve access to markets within our community and to facilitate improved inter-regional trade within the region. I am hopeful, Your Excellencies, that the completion of this exercise will produce declarations on how we will trade going forward and reverse the 23%. The status quo is not ideal in my view, and we must change without delay. Your Excellencies, I'm pleased to report that as part of the ongoing efforts to expand our markets beyond the SADC region, the agreement establishing the tripartite free trade area among the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, the East African Community, EAC, and SADC entered into force on the 25th of July this year, paving the way for member and partner states of the tripartite to access a larger market of now 26 countries, with a population of about 700 million and a GDP of $1 trillion United States dollars. As the chairperson of the tripartite task force, I have already notified all the tripartite member and partner states about this positive development, which is a key milestone in the promotion of intra-Africa trade and enhancement of economic integration in the tripartite area. On peace and security, Your Excellencies, the SADC region continues to stand out as a beacon of hope for peace, security, and stability in the continent of Africa, notwithstanding the security challenges in the eastern part of the DRC. Our region remains resolute towards finding lasting peace and security in the DRC. Last year, we deployed the SADC mission in the DRC to support the government to restore peace and security following an increase in conflicts and instability caused by the resurgence of armed groups. This mission should complement ongoing diplomatic processes, namely the Luanda and Nairobi processes, which aim to bring all concerned parties to the negotiating table to find a lasting solution to the conflict. Regarding the security situation in Mozambique and following the deployment of the SADC mission in the country since July 2021, I wish to report, Your Excellencies, that the mission was successfully concluded on the 4th of July this year, and that the security situation in Cabo Delgado is better off than it was prior to the mission's deployment. Through SAMIM, we succeeded in facilitating humanitarian assistance, controlling radicalization and indoctrination, and in protecting public infrastructure, thus restoring essential public services. In collaboration with the government of Mozambique and other partners, the region has created a secure environment, allowing the return of over 600,000 of the 1.2 million internally displaced persons to their places of origin. Allow me to express our sincere gratitude to His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, the chairperson of the SADC organ, for his unwavering commitment for sustained peace and security in the region. Under his leadership, our region has taken concrete steps to foster cooperation to consolidate peace, security, and stability, and in particular to highlight one, unlocking the levers to drive the reform process in the Kingdom of Lesotho. Similarly, I wish to thank the SADC chairperson His Excellency President João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo for leading the Luanda process in his capacity as the African Union champion on peace and reconciliation in Africa. It is our hope, Your Excellency, that your diplomatic prowess will help find peaceful and amicable solutions to the conflict in the eastern part of the DRC and bear fruit. Your Excellencies, the 2023-24 rainfall season has been a challenging one, with most parts of the region experiencing the negative effects of the El Niño phenomenon, characterized by a late onset of rains, extended mid-season dry spells, and extreme high temperatures. As a result, an estimated 67.7 million of our people in the region, representing more than 17% of the region's population, have been negatively affected. I wish to take this opportunity once more to express our sincere gratitude to the SADC chairperson, His Excellency President Lorenzo, for swiftly convening the extraordinary summit on the 20th May of this year to address the humanitarian situation emanating from the drought and floods. He accordingly launched the SADC Regional Humanitarian Appeal worth approximately $5.5 billion to support the humanitarian needs and disaster response recovery of the affected populations. Your Excellencies, with the increased scope of the SADC agenda, our region requires adequate financial resources to implement interventions and programs outlined in the RSDP 2020-2030 to enable us to achieve our collective aspirations of a peaceful, inclusive, competitive, middle to high-income industrialized region, as envisioned in our 2050 vision. It is evidently clear that without adequate resources for interconnected, quality, and seamless infrastructure, it will be in the form, be it in the form of roads, railways, ports, energy, or ICT, our efforts to industrialize and integrate our economies and unlock the region's full potential will stall. It is therefore imperative, as we intensify our efforts to mobilize resources, we should deliberate and expedite. We should be deliberate and expedite the operationalization of the Regional Development Fund. The SADC founders, in their wisdom, envisioned that the SADC Treaty, the RDF as a mechanism for financing programs to accelerate economic development and growth of our region. However, the agreement on the operationalization of this fund is yet to enter into force. As of today, only 8 member states have signed the agreement, with only 1 ratification by the Republic of Angola. May I call upon member states to expedite the processes of signing and ratifying this agreement and follow the lead of our chairperson, President Lorenzo. We also recognize commitments made by the DRC and the republics of Zambia and Zimbabwe to ratify very soon. Your Excellencies, as I conclude, let me highlight the critical importance of paying particular attention to the needs of the youth in promoting innovation, industrialization, peace and security. As Your Excellencies may be aware, the SADC region, just like the rest of Africa, has the youngest and fastest growing population in the world. This provides a democratic dividend capable of embracing new technologies and innovation and sustaining supply of labor to drive the industrialization agenda and spur economic growth and development. We just witnessed this potential coming to life a couple of days ago at the SADC public lecture ably delivered by our host, His Excellency President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa at the University of Zimbabwe. The youth were taking the lead to innovate, to create new advancements, and simply to dream. The President has put funding aside dedicated to these young men and women to shape the industrial revolution of the country, for which we commend him most sincerely. Your Excellencies, we can all learn from this initiative and possibly ignite the bigger revolution in our region. As part of the implementation of the 41st Summit theme titled Human and Financial Capital, the key drivers for sustainable industrialization in the SADC region, which was adopted last year in Luanda, the region convenes the SADC Youth Forum this year with calls for the region to develop public policies that encourage active youth participation in mainstream economy as well as the representation of young women in the development processes. I would like to reiterate the need to invest in the youth by providing them with the necessary skills, resources, entrepreneurial and job opportunities with a view to unlock their potential, thereby creating pathways for them to become agents of change and contributors of regional integration, sustainable peace and security, and inclusive economic growth. I wish to take this opportunity to thank the chairperson of SADC, His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, the President of the Republic of Angola, for his exemplary leadership, guidance, and insights during his tenure. In the past year, the chairperson has demonstrated exceptional leadership, vision, and dedication in steering the SADC towards achieving its mandate. He has provided guidance, wisdom, and deep insights to the Secretariat during his visit to the Secretariat in Gaborone on the 14th of July this year. As we look ahead to the coming year, the Secretariat reaffirms its unwavering commitment to work collaboratively with the incoming chairperson of SADC, His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, the President of this Republic, to move the SADC agenda forward and mainly focusing on industrialization or industrializing our region. With these remarks, I wish Your Excellencies fruitful deliberations as we collectively endeavor to shape the future of our region. I am confident that the outcomes of your deliberations today will positively impact the lives of our citizens. I thank you for your attention. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Asante sana. Tatenda pia lebuch.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause for the SADC Executive Secretary, His Excellency Mr. Elias Magosi. At any point of SADC life, the Executive Secretary comes from any of the member countries. For those who don't know, our Executive Secretary is from the beautiful country of SADC called Botswana. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to bridge the flow of the program to introduce a proud citizen of SADC, one that we are also very proud of in the region. He is the President of the Pan-African Parliament, and he's none other than Chief Fortune Charumbira. Thank you. Just to advise again those that are using language translation gadgets, our channels are as follows. English is on channel 1, French is on channel 2, Portuguese is on channel 3, and Swahili is on channel 4. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, we are live on national television as well as international television, courtesy of the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. We are also coming to you live from the new Parliament building in Mount Hamden, in Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe, the host of the 44th Ordinary Summit of SADC Heads of State and Government Summit, Ordinary Summit of SADC Heads of State and Government. And those who are on social media or would like to catch us on social media, we are on ZBC News Online, the Facebook page, the SADC Facebook page, as well as other international TV channels. Distinguished delegates, I'd now like to call upon to the podium our next speaker. The man I'm just about to call is an icon of the independence struggle of the Republic of Zimbabwe. He's a man who's walked the ropes of leadership from being a member of parliament and cabinet minister in 1980 at independence to being the Speaker of Parliament, to being the Vice President, to what he is today. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite to the podium the incoming chairperson of SADC and the host of the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit of Heads of States and Government to deliver his welcome remarks. Please put your hands together for His Excellency, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
May you be seated. The First Lady, Dr. Mnangagwa, Your Majesty, King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency, João Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency, my dear young brother, Felix Tshisekedi, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo and outgoing Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Samir Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and the Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and outgoing Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government and Heads of Delegations, Your Excellency, Chairperson of the SADC Panel of Elders, former President Jakaya Kikwete, Your Excellencies, First Ladies who are here with us, the Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, General Retired Dr. C.G.D.N. Chiwenga, the Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Colonel Retired K.C.D. Mohadi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, Ambassador Frederick Shawa, Honorable Ministers and various political leaders of the Republic of Zimbabwe who are here with us, Your Excellency Elias Magosi, SADC Executive Secretary, Your Excellency Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Ambassador Clever Gateke, Your Excellencies, Heads of regional economic communities and international organizations who are here, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, senior government officials and delegates from SADC member states, members of the media, my fellow SADC citizens, I feel greatly privileged to be addressing you all when I have been accorded the rare and huge responsibility to take hold of the reins of our revolutionary and transformative regional body, SADC. On behalf of the government and people of our country, allow me to officially welcome you, Your Majesty, and my dear colleagues, Excellencies, heads of state and government, as well as your esteemed delegations to the Republic of Zimbabwe. I trust that you have found the available facilities perhaps comfortable. The people of Zimbabwe count it an honor to be hosting this 44th Ordinary SADC Summit. And we treasure your gathering here in the land of the great Emperor Munumtapa. On their behalf, I'm grateful for the opportunity to personally thank you all for the many years of your unwavering solidarity, support, and unbreakable fraternal relations with the Republic and people of Zimbabwe. This has been against the continuing heinous sanctions imposed on our motherland, Zimbabwe, by some Western countries. We are aware that various forms of undue pressure may have been exerted on you over the years to abandon us. Yet you have remained resolute in the true spirit of our liberation wartime mantra that an injury to one is an injury to all. The clarity, solidarity, and unity which the SADC region has always demonstrated on Zimbabwe, as with other critical peace, security, and climate change disasters in our region, epitomizes the true Pan-African spirit envisaged by our founding fathers of our region. As the people of Zimbabwe, today we once again say, thank you, thank you, thank you, SADC, for bearing with us the burdens imposed by the last 24 years of illegal sanctions imposed our country because we claimed our land. Today also marks the SADC Day anniversary. We commemorate the signing of the SADC Declaration and the Treaty in 1992 at the Summit of Heads of State and Government that was held in Windhoek in the Republic of Namibia. The historic birth of SADC ushered an era of marked transformation in the region, from a past characterized by segregation and the brutal racial oppression to the present, where we enjoy peace, security, and prosperity in our respective countries. Indeed, since its inception, SADC has enabled the integration and has improved the quality of life of our peoples. The government and people of Zimbabwe are humbled to join you, Your Excellencies, and your esteemed delegations in celebrating these milestones we have achieved. United we stand, and united we continue to march forward towards a more prosperous future for our great region, SADC. I invite you all
Taxes is a noble act and a statutory requirement. However, the processes and procedures required for you to fulfill your tax obligation may become complex and complicated, resulting in a standoff between the parties concerned. Do you need a mediator to resolve your tax issues? The Revenue Appeals Tribunal Eswatini is a government entity established under the Ministry of Finance with the intention to help resolve tax disputes in the country. Join myself, John Perez, on Mbiliganye every Sunday at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. from the 4th of August to the 27th of October 2024. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel at Eswatini TV.
Hello everyone, my name is Mahu. Get the beat down on Saturday.
A show where we interview inspirational young professionals who are making a real impact in their industries and reshaping our world. This is Young Climber.
My dream and my mission is to be a tangible example of a dream realized. You don't choose where you are born, of course, but you decide where you end up.
Our conversations spark ideas, fuel ambition, and elevate your career path. These are the stories that change your perspective on life, conversations that shape entrepreneurs and move careers forward. If you are serious about your career development, you can't afford to miss this show. Join me, Tabelo Dlamini, every Tuesday at 6:30 for Young Climber, where every episode could be your next big breakthrough.
It's the 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government on the theme of promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustained economic growth and development towards an industrialized SADC. I want to start by conveying my gratitude to the government of Zimbabwe for the generous hospitality as the host of this August event here in Harare. I also wish to thank the heads of state and SADC for this opportunity to deliver my inaugural address in my capacity as the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, we are meeting at a time when our continent is facing major challenges, especially financing, security, soaring debt crisis, and climate change. Sovereign debt in Africa currently stands at over $1 trillion, causing severe fiscal stress, with more than 1 in 3 countries in or at high risk of debt distress. This is also happening when long-term concession of finance, official development assistance, and foreign direct investments are declining. In addition, climate change is eroding 5% of GDP on average on an annual basis. Actually, last year for Mozambique, it cost them 15% of their GDP. These impacts are quite evident in the SADC region. That's why we're working on an African position on the reform of the global financial architecture so that Africa's needs are taken into account at the next month's Summit of the Future and the 4th Financing for Development Conference that will take place next year in Spain. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, there are no clear solutions. We have no choice but to look inward for homegrown solutions, including domestic resource mobilization and innovative financing for climate to sustain our development. And SADC can be a leader on this imperative. The region is home to most of the world's gold, copper, cobalt, lithium, chromium, graphite, platinum, and possesses significant livestock and agriculture endowments. 4 key areas offer SADC innovative and scalable solutions. One of them is the development of the regional value chains, and this is possible in the whole of SADC region. Regional agglomeration remains a ticket to sustainable industrialization because fragmented approaches will not generate the jobs we need, nor will it reduce poverty and inequality. Indeed, following our recent visits to Botswana, Namibia, and Ethiopia to study the beef and leather value chains, we have concluded that all of the SADC offers enormous potential to increase export markets within these sectors. That's why we partnered with the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, BADEA, who have now approved grant financing for a feasibility study in the beef sector for Botswana that will be conducted by ECA, working closely with SADC Secretariat and partners. This will be replicated to other SADC member countries. We also plan to do similar work for the leather sector. In tandem is the energy regional value chain. We must approach energy solutions from a regional perspective to have significant impact. For example, SADC is using only 1% of the solar and wind energy potential. This means that SADC can be a continental energy provider with the development of this value chain alone. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the second area of opportunity is food security. There is no reason why Africa should import food to the tune of over $120 billion per year when SADC can be Africa's breadbasket. This is also why we are embarking on the establishment of the Zambia-Zimbabwe Common Agro-Industrial Park, again working with BADEA, who have also approved grant financing for a study to move forward with this initiative. I'm glad that the president of BADEA himself is here in the room with us. Thank you very much. This is not just critical for SADC, but for the whole of the African continent. Thirdly is the minerals development. Our critical minerals can deliver fair and inclusive prosperity. Our fundamentals for the agenda are stronger than anywhere else in the world. But our window of opportunity is closing. We are using our study on the DRC Zambia Electric Battery Initiative as a proof of concept that we can and should drive mineral beneficiation, and we are working on a roadmap to translate this into a reality that will allow expansion to other minerals such as diamond. Finally, we must leverage technology. Our work with Botswana on the local small stock farm shows the benefits of using smart agriculture technologies for climate change adaptation. With the right investments, we can scale up innovations like this, and not just in the agriculture sector, but in health, education, finance, transport, and many more others. ECA is now developing a platform that showcases innovations across the continent, which can be accessed by all countries. This was one of the requests by member states at our last conference of finance ministers in March this year in the beautiful Victoria Falls. This year's conference of ministers of finance, planning, economic development, and governors of the central bank is chaired by the finance minister of Zimbabwe. These, notwithstanding, significant investments and critical infrastructure development is needed to unlock these opportunities. Governments alone cannot do this. The private sector can play its part with the right incentives and de-risking mechanisms. For us at ECA, we are working closely can help us address today's complex challenges. We are here because we believe we can do it. I'm convinced that each of the SADC member countries can be a cluster leader of innovation and breakthroughs, and ECA stands ready to partner with you on this journey. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to the Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, His Excellency Clever Gatete. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished heads of state and government, honorable vice presidents, first ladies, honorable ministers, ambassadors, distinguished delegates to this opening session. His Excellency Clever Gatete just spoke about the opportunities that are available for SADC to catapult itself to a global economic bloc. I was just reminded of some kind of competition that took place last year. Some British scientists had just dug about 10 meters. They discovered traces of copper, and they made a conclusion that some 200 years ago, their ancestors already had a telephone network. And then not to be outdone by the British, the Americans were also doing their own digging. They dug about 20 meters into the ground. They also discovered the traces of copper. So they then published in one of their journals that, in fact, the American ancestors had telephone network more than 250 years, 50 years earlier than the British. So there was a group of SADC citizens who also couldn't be outdone by the British and the Americans. So they put themselves together, went around the SADC, and they were digging, and they were digging, and they were digging. They dug up to 100 meters. They didn't find any traces of copper, and they made a remarkable conclusion, and it was published in one of the Cape Town journals, that in fact, more than 300 years ago, our ancestors already had a wireless network. So we do have a very good foundation to start from. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to move on with the program. And just to remind those that are watching, we are live from the new Parliament building in Mount Abden, the capital city of Zimbabwe, the host of this year's SADC summit. It is tradition within SADC that a new president within the family must come forward and address the summit. So we do have a new president in our midst, and I'd like to invite him to take to the podium and address the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit. He's doing this for the first time. Distinguished delegates, allow me to invite the President of the Republic of Namibia to come to the podium and deliver his maiden statement to the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit. His Excellency Nangolo Mbumba, please proceed to that one that is reserved for distinguished delegates like yourself. Another round of applause is the President of Namibia. His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba walks to the podium. I thank you.
Your Majesty, King Swati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Dr. Emmerson Dabuzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, incoming Chairperson of SADC, and the host of the 44th SADC Summit of Head of State and Government. Your Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Tshilombo, President of the Republic of Democratic Republic, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and outgoing Chairperson of SADC. Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, and Chairperson of SADC Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security Cooperation, Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and incoming Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security Cooperation, Your Excellencies, SADC Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency General Chiwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency Colonel Mahodi, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Your Excellency Mr. Elias Mahotsi, the Executive Secretary of SADC, Your Excellency Ambassadors and High Commissioners and members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the medias, our gracious First Ladies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor and privilege for me to participate in the 44th Ordinary Summit of Head of State and Government and the Organ Troika Summit of the Southern African Development Community, convening under the theme, and I quote, promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustainable economic growth and development towards an industrialized SADC, end of quote. Allow me to express my deepest gratitude to Your Excellency Dr. Emmerson Dabuzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, on your assumption of the chairmanship of SADC. I am confident that under your able leadership, we will witness the continuation of the collective efforts and progress that we all aspire to see in the SADC region. Your Excellencies, I assume, thank you. Your Excellencies, I assume the office of President of the Republic of Namibia on the 4th of February this year, in the wake of one of the most challenging and harrowing moments in the history of post-independence Namibia, following the passing on of His Excellency Dr. Hage Gottfried Geingob, our late president. The legacy of President Geingob is marked by his unwavering commitment to regional integration, peace, and economic development. Namibians are grateful for the solidarity and support Your Excellencies and the fraternal people of your respective countries extended to the Namibian people during that difficult period. We will never forget your warm display of solidarity during our moment of need and sorrow. While on this sad subject matter of bereavement and loss, allow me to convey our heartfelt condolences to the government and people of the Republic of Malawi following the tragic death of on the 10th of June this year of the Right Honorable Dr. Saulos Chilima, Vice President of the Republic of Malawi. Similarly, I would like also to convey our sincere condolences to the government and people of the United Republic of Tanzania on the passing of His Excellency Mzee Ali Hassan Mwinyi, the second President of the United Republic of Tanzania, on February 29, 2024. We salute these departed souls of Africa for their steadfast leadership and admirable service to their countries and to SADC region at large. Your Excellencies, as President of the Republic of Namibia, I shall continue where my predecessors left off by remaining committed to the goals and principles of our regional organization and the aspirations of our people. Furthermore, I will tirelessly endeavor to play my part in ensuring that their dreams and hopes for a better future will materialize into a region characterized by peace, unity, and economic prosperity. I join you in discharging this cardinal responsibility of contributing to the advancement of initiatives and programs aimed at fostering economic growth and addressing regional challenges for betterment of the living conditions of our people. In the interest of advancing our developmental goals in the midst of continuous challenges this year, the Republic of Namibia is co-facilitating, alongside with the Federal Republic of Germany, the Summit of the Future during the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Namibia has taken on this important role as a representative of the Global South. I can assure you that Namibia has accepted this task with utmost dedication and willingness to add our collective voice to that, so that we inclusively build a better world for the current and for the future generations. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Namibia is scheduled to hold presidential and National Assembly elections on the 27th of November this year. I am pleased to inform the summit that SADC Electoral Advisory Council has just concluded its goodwill mission to the Republic of Namibia, a nation that has enjoyed more than 34 years of peace and stability. We remain committed to the SADC principles and guidelines for democratic elections, and we respect their findings and will pay attention to their advice and recommendations. Your Excellencies, I wish to reiterate that the objectives of the Regional Strategic Indicative Development Plan 2020-2050 cannot be achieved if the fundamental pillars of peace, security, and good governance is compromised. Our region is still faced with persistent security challenges in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, following the resurgence of conflict and activities of armed groups, including the M23. This is a source of great concern for the region, as it poses a potential threat for the regional peace and security. It therefore requires a collective effort and strong political will for us to ensure that peace comes to the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let me extend our sincere condolences to the government whose brave sons and daughters have sacrificed their lives while deployed in the SADC mission in Mozambique, SAMIM, and the democratic mission and the SADC mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. They lost their lives in support of the noble efforts of the government of the Republic of Mozambique and the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo to combat violent conflict and instability in our two sister republics. I commend all member states for providing resources and materials in support of SAMIM objective. Due to these collective efforts, the situation in Cabo Delgado has normalized, and the displaced persons are returning to their places of origin. In conclusion, let me express my gratitude to our Executive Secretary of SADC, Mr. Elias Mpedi Mahosi, and the Secretariat for their commitment to serve our organization and the people of our region. I wish as well all fruitful deliberation as we collectively seek to improve the lives of our peoples and set the future of our region on a trajectory of democracy, peace, and stable development. Asante sana, merci beaucoup, muito obrigado, and I thank everybody else.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, Your Excellency. At this point, we are now going to witness the winners of the SADC Media Awards competition, essay competition, secondary school essay competition, and SADC Tertiary Institution essay competitions. These are among our activities aimed at enhancing awareness of SADC. So I will begin with the winners of the secondary school essay competition, who were writing on the theme, on the topic, how can human and financial capital drive industrial development in the SADC region? This was in line with the 43rd SADC Summit theme. So for the third prize, the winner is Lompo Mokena from the Kingdom of Lesotho. In the second position, we have Ms. Emilia Kabungo Santa from the Republic of Zambia. The first prize goes to Mr. Lekoko David Santi from the Kingdom of Lesotho. Then we now move on to the winners for the 2024 SADC Tertiary Institution Essay Competition. Again, in the third position, we have Mr. Nswaki Susan from the second position, again, Lesotho. Lafela. And the first position goes to Republic of Malawi, Mr. Daniel Kawonga. We move on to the 2024 Media Awards winners. I'll start with the television category. In the second position, we have Mr. Henani Korea, Republic of Angola. First position in television, we have Mr. Leswana Moeti from the Kingdom of Lesotho again. Print category, in the second position, we have Mr. Joseph Banda, Republic of Zambia. The first position, print category, we have Ms. Deborah Musanyare Matavu, Republic of Zimbabwe. Photo category, first prize, Republic of South Africa, Ms. Fikile Nectar Marakara. First position in the photo category, Republic of Zimbabwe, Mr. Hunda Kudakwashe. Radio category, second prize, Republic of South Africa, Mr. Benjamin Moshatama. And the first prize, radio, last but not the least, again, Kingdom of Lesotho. Mr. Leswama Moeti, we would like to congratulate the winners of this competition. Thank you. At this point, I'm going to invite my co-host, Edie Superman Dwanzira, to come and announce the next item. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much to Barbara Lopi, all the way from Zambia, and working for the SADC Secretariat in Botswana. I'm very proud to be a citizen of SADC and to be associated with Lesotho. Especially after they scooped a lot of prizes. Please give the winners another round of applause. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to invite the current SADC chairman, His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola, to deliver his statement, and soon after his statement, we will witness the handover of the chairmanship to His Excellency President Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe. Please put your hands together for the SADC chairman, His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço of Angola.
Sua Excelência Emerson.
Your Excellency Emerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and incoming chairperson of SADC and the host of the 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and chairperson of SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Majesty King Swati III, Your Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and incoming chair of SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo and outgoing chairperson of SADC. Your Excellency Nangolo Mbumba, President of the Republic of Namibia and outgoing chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Excellency, heads of states and government of SADC and their representatives. Your Excellency Clara Gatete, Executive Secretary of UNECA. Your Excellency Akimwini Adesina, Chairperson, President of the Africa Development Bank. Your Excellency Frederick Chava, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Chairperson of SADC Council of Ministers. Your Excellency Elias Mahosi, Executive Secretary of SADC, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps accredited in Zimbabwe, ladies and gentlemen. It is a distinguished honor as chair of SADC that I take the floor to address you at this 44th time that the highest authorities of SADC meet to reflect on the objectives and targets set out by the community with regards to the achievements achieved last year and the opportunities we have, as well as the challenges that we have to surmount as a collective. I would like to profoundly thank President Emerson Mnangagwa and the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe for having agreed to host this important summit and for their warm welcome and exceptional hospitality that has been accorded to all delegations ever since our arrival to this beautiful country. I would like to take this opportunity to officially welcome His Excellency Nangolo Mbumba, who is attending this summit for the first time as President of the Republic of Namibia. I would like to reiterate on behalf of all heads of states of SADC our congratulations to Your Excellency and to the people of the Republic of Namibia, who have, in a very exemplary way, has carried out the transfer of power in your country after the sad passing of our late friend and companion Hage Geingob. We will continue working together with the same spirit as usual to face the current and future challenges of our organization, hoping to together build a prosperous future for all SADC citizens. Allow me to say as well that last year we have seen a number of unfortunate events like the passing of the former president of Namibia, as well as other notable people who have contributed, who have tenaciously fought for a better future of our region. I would like to invite everyone to stand up for a minute of silence as a homage to the leaders and the brave soldiers who have departed.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's been exactly 1 year that the Republic of Angola took the chairmanship of SADC with the commitment of proceeding with the industrialization agenda that has started on the 44th summit of SADC held here in Zimbabwe, when the organization took the bold decision of placing industrialization at the center of its regional integration agenda, and with the drafting of the strategy and roadmap for SADC industrialization. To spur on this agenda, the summit adopted the theme Human Capital, Key Drivers Towards Sustainable Industrialization of SADC region. Since one of our major objectives is the skills that allow for access to jobs and allow for our region to be ready for the challenges of the fourth industrial revolution. In applying this theme, we have worked with the Secretariat in order to support member states in promoting and developing value chains that are key for production and processing of agriculture, pharmaceutical, mining products to strengthen and maximize regional benefits. Based on this, I welcome the fact that under the next leadership of the Republic of Zimbabwe, we will still count on the dynamic nature of this country to push this industrialization agenda so that we can consolidate the gains that we've had so far with the adoption of this theme of promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustainable economic growth and development towards industrialized SADC. With this theme, I am absolutely sure that our region will take advantage of science, technology, and innovation to spur on industrialization as a key driver for socio-economic transformation, which will be seen in this southern area, southern part of Africa. Since human resources are key for the development of these value chains and for an industrialization, a sustainable industrialization, our region has had some significant progress in operationalizing the SADC University in order to develop and maintain human capital to meet the technical and technological needs of our efforts aimed at industrialization. On the other hand, I would like to state that currently our region has a deficit in terms of infrastructure financing, well over $30 billion. So we need to proceed as fast as possible in operationalizing the Regional Development Fund, which was one of the major objectives of the chairmanship that is ending today, in order to support industrial development, social and human development, as well as the development of infrastructure, so that we can sustain the development of our region. I would like to take advantage of this opportunity to appeal to the private sector, financing institution and ICPs to join us and support with resources the implementation of some of our regional projects that are key and cover strategic areas which are in the Regional Indicative Development Plan for 2020 to 2030. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, under the development to support regional integration, during the chairmanship that ends today, our region has seen considerable progress in the energy, transport, water resource, shared water resources, ITC, and weather. Based on this, I think it is important to state that SADC region currently has 86% of mobile network coverage, which is very close to the 95% objective for 2030. The internet coverage is estimated at 54%, meaning more than half of our population has access to this form of communication. All this is as a result of the dynamic collaboration between the member states who have organized themselves to invest in digital infrastructure and reduce service costs in these areas and promoting digital literacy. With regards to energy resources, it is important to ensure in our region access to energy at reasonable prices, so we can spur the industrialization and create more opportunities in the region. A population with access to electricity, was way below the levels that have been set as objectives. In some member states, it was possible to get to 100% access, but there are others where we had, unfortunately, less than 20%. It is important to highlight that the power generation capacity in most member states of our region does not meet the needs since 2008, except Angola, Mozambique, Tanzania, where in April 2024 there was a surplus of energy when compared to the current consumption of energy in these countries. Access to this surplus has not been possible due to the low expansion of transmission networks and lack of interconnectors for all that can connect all member states of the region. Taking into account the low access to these resources, to this resource, which is energy, our region needs to continue investing in energy infrastructure to increase production, transmission and diversification of energy sources, and adopt sustainable practices that are crucial for a proper supply of energy, promote economic development, and build a more prosperous SADC region. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot talk about a an integrated region without free movement of people in the region. By so doing, through our borders, we can promote economic development, social development, and cultural exchanges. And it's based on this fact that I noted that last year we have had so many efforts to improve the free movement of goods and people in our region. Some member states have introduced visa exemptions, and others have abolished visa requirement for all member states of SADC. It is heartwarming to know that we are taking firm steps to remove barriers and restrictions to the free movement of people and goods. We have to highlight the cooperation between all member states of SADC with regards to the creation of one-stop border posts in order to simplify and facilitate the movement amongst us. A number of such posts have been created in borders between Zambia and Zimbabwe, Botswana and Zambia, Malawi and Zambia, Tanzania and Zambia. And all together, this helps in creating the necessary conditions to ease the movement of people, inter-regional trade, and a number of other factors which are important for development, and of which I'd like to highlight the cost of transport in our area. And under these efforts, we also have the Lubito corridor, which is an important infrastructure in Angola, which will allow to link the DRC, Zambia, to the Atlantic Ocean, through which they'll be able to send raw materials, goods and services in a way that would encourage competition. And this facility will create dynamics that would stimulate regional economic growth, not only for the countries that are linked to it, but also for other countries that are part of SADC. I would like to add to these factors that I've mentioned. There's also tourism, which has slowed down significantly during the COVID-19 period, which has since then been increasing exponentially, taking its place as an important contributor to economic growth and the GDP. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our region faces major challenges which are complex, and they require from us effort and special attention to face diseases and natural disasters that scourge Southern Africa. It is good to highlight the efforts of member states, and they do so in a determined way to reduce the number of cases of HIV/AIDS, and we have had a number of results which are heartwarming, as we have a reduction in the number of new infections between 2010 and 2022. These results deserve our applause, but we need to continue working on sensitizing the youth so as to take on behavior that keeps them safe and thereby avoid the spread of the disease amongst them. In February, I hosted an extraordinary summit of heads of state and government on the cholera situation in the region, and together we took measures to contain its spread and ensure the health and well-being of our populations. Based on these decisions, it was possible to contain the spread of cholera and support people in communities that have been affected by this disease. His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, the President of the Republic of Zambia, has successfully led the fight against cholera in SADC region as a regional champion against cholera. Our heartfelt thanks for these efforts. With regards to health, I would like to also highlight the fact that we also had success that's noteworthy in the fight against malaria, and the incidence rate has reduced significantly. During this year, when I was at the helm of our organization, we had to deal with a number of other situations that required collective action. And we've held a virtual virtual summit in May on natural disasters, which implies prioritizing infrastructure and reduce the vulnerability of our people, the people in our region. At this summit, in which we touched on drought, floods resulting from El Nino, we launched a regional humanitarian appeal for SADC aimed at mobilizing at least $5.5 billion to complement the national resources of affected member states. I would like to say that the amounts mobilized so far are unfortunately well below the estimated amounts, and I would like to therefore reiterate this appeal to regional and international partners, to the private sector and member states, to redouble their efforts so that we can achieve the amounts that we need and provide help to our people who are affected by El Nino phenomenon. We have received from experts of our region some information of possible new occurrences in the coming years of drought, cyclones, landslides, wildfires, and the rise of sea level as a result of climate change and a number of other factors. In order to protect ourselves against such situations, last year the SADC Humanitarian Operations Center has been operationalized, which will help in coordinating the preparation, response, and rapid recovery from disasters, under the support that will be given to affected member states that are affected by natural disasters. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the issues of peace and security of our region are still at the center of our attention, and are part of the priority issues of SADC, and we have made all necessary effort to maintain a climate of peace and tranquility in Southern Africa, which prevails, although we have some conflict in Eastern DRC, which is a challenge that we are trying to address, and we have good prospects on it. Taking into account the understandings that the agreements that have been reached in this region between the DRC and Rwanda from the 8th of August, we will work towards the negotiation and the signing of a definitive peace agreement. The Republic of Angola, as a mediator, has submitted to Rwanda and the DRC a draft peace agreement, which is being reviewed by the two countries, and it will be discussed and negotiated between ministerial delegations of the Republic of the DRC and Rwanda as from the 20th August 2024 in Luanda. We would like to highlight the role of the chair of the organ has played in order to carry out this mission, SADC mission in the DRC, in order to have a positive contribution to the creation of an environment that allows for mitigating the conflict factors. There's also the situation of the security situation in Cabo Delgado province in Mozambique, in which on the 4th July this year, the SADC mission has come to an end, and this mission has played an important role in helping Mozambique in facing terrorism and extremist violence, violent extremism. And we have been able to address the issue. At the end of the mission in Mozambique is not the end of our commitment to continue supporting the efforts of this sister country aimed at having peace, which is necessary for the progress of the country. In this globalized world, SADC pays attention to peace and security issues throughout the world, without which all efforts to ensure food security will be compromised. It is therefore urgent to end the war in Sudan, given the serious consequences on the lives of people who are facing one of the worst humanitarian catastrophes. There is the destruction of infrastructure in the country, and given its location and the size of the country, it is a major threat to the countries of Great Lakes and the Eastern Bloc. Peace has to be negotiated with all parties in that conflict in order to address the current situation and afford the country an opportunity to reconstruct, to rebuild, and ensure the return of displaced persons to come and develop their economy. We also defend the end to the war in Ukraine through negotiations that respect the principles of independence and sovereignty of countries as per the international law and the UN Charter. Having condemned the attacks on the 7th October 2023 against Israeli citizens, we also condemn the genocide that the country is witnessing in the Gaza Strip against the Palestinians, and the main victims are women, children, hospitalized persons. There's a need to negotiate peace, to end the war, free Israeli hostages, and Palestinian prisoners as per the terms set out by the UN to end this conflict, which drags on for years, since the 50s. That was last century. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to underline the role of SADC in building the basis for regional integration. And there's been effort to promote socio-economic development of all its 16 member states. Having been given the honor of chairing SADC over 12 months, I've been able to see the efforts that we've been applying to improve the situation in all member states and in the lives of its people. All results that have been achieved are based on the selfless work of the Secretariat led by His Excellency Mr. Maposi, who have not spared efforts in supporting tirelessly my chairmanship that I've exercised up until now. I'm now coming to the end of this term, and I am sure that the decisions from this summit, the 44th, will strengthen our collective action to surmount obstacles and face challenges we have in future to bring about a better future for our region as we want it to be industrialized, peaceful, inclusive, competitive, and of middle-high income, in which all citizens have an economic well-being, justice, and freedom, as we set out in the 2050 SADC vision. It is now my honor and privilege to transfer the chairmanship, to hand over the chairmanship to my brother Emerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, who surely will apply all his knowledge in a committed manner in promoting initiatives that will help in accelerating our efforts for a deeper regional integration, sustainable development, peace and security. Allow me Your Excellencies to invite His Excellency Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, the new chairperson of SADC, to come for the official handover ceremony. Thank you very much to everyone.
Your Excellency, we request their Excellencies to just come in the center. We are now going to witness the handing over of the chair from the Republic of Angola to the Republic of Zimbabwe. And the chairperson, Republic of Angola, His Excellency, Mr. João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, is going to give the chairpersonship pin to His Excellency, Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa. The pin is engraved with his name and his title as chairperson of SADC. In addition to the pin, he's also going to hand over the gavel. The Republic of Angola is handing over the gavel, which is one of the instruments of power which we use to make decisions. May I ask President Mnangagwa to just show the audience that indeed he has received the gavel? Thank you. Thank you. Before we invite the new chairperson of SADC to address us, may I request the audience to just give us 2 rounds of applause, one for Angola to thank them, and another for the Republic of Zimbabwe.
Beautiful. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It's a deserved round of applause. We just witnessed a smooth handover of power. Let me, at this juncture, distinguished delegates, Your Majesty, distinguished heads of state and government, our honorable vice presidents, our first ladies, Speaker of Parliament, President of the Senate, President of the Pan-African Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and all esteemed delegates, allow me at this juncture to now invite the newly minted chairman of SADC, His Excellency, His Excellency, President Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, to make his acceptance speech.
The First Lady, Amai Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, Your Majesty, King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency João Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and outgoing Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Samia Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and the Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and outgoing Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, and the Heads of Delegations, Your Excellency, Chairperson of the SADC Panel of Elders, former President Jakaya Kikwete, Your Excellencies, First Ladies here present, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable General Retired Dr. C. Julian Chwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Colonel Retired KCD Moadi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Trade, and Chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, Ambassador Frederick Shawa, Honorable Ministers and various political leaders of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency, my dear brother, Elias Magosi, SADC Executive Secretary, Your Excellency, Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Ambassador Clever Gatete, Your Excellencies, Heads of Regional Economic Communities and international organizations who are here, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, senior officials and delegates from SADC member states, distinguished guests, members of the media, fellow SADC citizens, may I express my profound appreciation to His Excellency João Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola, for the astute and visionary leadership in steering our organization as chairperson of SADC during the past year. We heartily commend him for ably navigating the various challenges we faced and for ensuring that the integration agenda of our region remained on course. On behalf of the people and government of Zimbabwe, I take over the mantle of chairmanship as chairperson of SADC with humility and grace. I look forward, Your Excellencies, to your invaluable support and drawing from your vast experiences and counsel as we advance our regional agenda for the benefit of our SADC citizens. Allow me to also acknowledge the dedication and leadership demonstrated by His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, in his capacity as the chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. The organ remains a critical cog in nurturing unity, constitutionalism, democracy, and the rule of law, as well as peace and security in line with the founding values, ethos, and principles of SADC. Similarly, I congratulate His Excellency Samia Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for her assumption of the stewardship over the organ of politics, defense, and security cooperation. Rest assured of my full support, my dear President. Your Majesty, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this year's theme, and I quote, promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustainable economic growth and development towards an industrialized SADC, end of quote, brings to the fore the role of innovation in sustained economic transformation and development. It is a clarion call for our respective countries to leverage the region's human capital to spur technology and innovation that will leapfrog the modernization and industrialization of SADC towards a higher quality of life of our citizens. To this end, it has become critically important and urgent to harness the potential of innovation to produce goods and services through value addition and a beneficiation of our rich mineral and related natural resources. The peoples of the region fought for our liberation, freedom, and independence, as well as the economic value of our land and that which is under it. The time is now. We must realize maximum value from our God-given rich natural endowments. The importance of developing innovative strategies across all sectors of our economies to accelerate the realization of our collective development agenda cannot be overemphasized. This is more so as the fourth industrial revolution continues to impact and transform the way we operate and execute our work. Our SADC bloc cannot afford to fall behind in the new and fast-changing frontier of science, technology, and innovation. These aspects are prerequisites for increased productivity and indeed the bedrock upon which other parts of the world, industrialized countries, developed on. Let us therefore match our aspirations set out in the SADC industrialization strategy and roadmap 2015 to 2063 with concrete and real actions. It is pleasing that the successful SADC Industrialization Week and Investment Forum provided a public-private engagement platform where participants discussed and shared innovative approaches. The 7th SADC Public Lecture also helped to raise public awareness on the critical role of innovation in promoting and deepening the SADC regional integration efforts. Stakeholders across the region are exhorted to scale up people-to-people and business-to-business exchanges for enhanced synergies and collaboration. Our institutions of higher learning, the academia, scientists, and innovators must equally strengthen linkages to further drive the innovation, modernization, and industrialization of our region. In the case of Zimbabwe, we have set up several innovation hubs at all our state universities and related institutions of higher learning. These have achieved remarkable success in developing a sense of self-belief, skills, and competencies. Further, initiatives under the programs have transformed livelihoods, communities, and the economy as a whole through the production of appropriate goods and services for our people. The need to ensure that our youth and entrepreneurs, including women, fully embrace the technology and innovation revolution should be one of our key priorities in the region. Through purposeful collaboration in the ICT sector, we can advance our collective interests as a region, including closing the digital divide. As the current crop of leaders, we have a weighty responsibility to facilitate a conducive environment for our citizenry to thrive and do their part for the realization of the modern industrialized SADC we all want. No one and no country should be left behind. Your Majesty, Excellencies and distinguished guests, the democracy, independence and freedom being enjoyed by the peoples of the region were paid for through the sweat, tears and the blood of yesteryear heroes and heroines, as well as sons and daughters of SADC. We have a sacred duty to honor them all by jealously guarding and defending our sovereignty and the right to economic self-determination as a people. We are a proud Southern African people with a rich history and a brighter future for ourselves. Let us never sacrifice our unity, solidarity, or our African culture for political or economic expediency. Ultimately, the burden and responsibility to build our countries and the region as a whole for sustainable prosperity lies with us and nobody else, the great people of SADC. In Zimbabwe, our development philosophy is that It's better in Shona. I'll translate in English. In Zimbabwe, our development philosophy is that a country is built, should be governed, and should be prayed for by its own people. We say, Nika inovakwa, igotongwa, igonamatirwa, nevenevai. Likewise, our region SADC will be modernized and industrialized by its own citizens through our individual and collective efforts. Those who seek to help us are welcome. However, they must do so on our terms, guided by our priorities and respecting our respective sovereignties. I therefore challenge my fellow citizens of the region to remain unapologetic and confident in who we are as a people and in our God-given abilities as a people. Through unity and hard, honest work, nothing is impossible. Your Excellencies, regrettably, the region continues to experience climate change-induced natural disasters, which have had far-reaching negative impacts on human and food security. In light of the lessons learned, investments in transformative agriculture and food systems must be scaled up. Through robust climate mitigation strategies and resilience-building mechanisms, we must continually strive to be a region capable of feeding ourselves. The full operationalization of the SADC Humanitarian and Emergency Center must be given due attention. During our wars of liberation, we shared trenches and our countries to dislodge the racist colonial regimes for the realization of our independence and freedom. Now, in plenty and in luck, in good times and in bad times, we shall continue to stand as one united and indivisible SADC. In accelerating the modernization and industrialization of our countries, the broadening and expansion of our energy infrastructure, with particular emphasis on renewables, is critically important. As developing countries, we contribute the least to global carbon emissions, and yet we are the most affected. In an endeavor to promote the green agenda, my government is broadening our country's energy mix. This has seen the generation of energy from waste, along with other renewable energy sources. One such facility which converts waste to energy is the Geopomona Waste Management Plant. A visit to the facility has been arranged as part of our program on the 18th of August, which is perhaps tomorrow. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as I assume the chairmanship of SADC, I'm aware of the historic and momentous role played by our founding fathers and their vision for a united, independent, integrated, peaceful, and prosperous region. It is indeed most opportune that this fourth ordinary SADC summit is convening a few days after we commemorated our 44th National Heroes Day on 12th August 2024 here in Zimbabwe. We remain mindful that the protracted struggle for the liberation of our beloved motherland, Zimbabwe, would have never been realized without the support of our brothers and sisters in our region, as well as other progressive countries from beyond. We are forever grateful. It is in this unquenchable spirit that Zimbabwe is pleased to invite Your Excellencies and your esteemed delegations to witness the unveiling of the SADC Liberation Square, which is located within the premises of the Museum of African Liberation. This true story of our rich liberation heritage must be preserved and told to present and future generations through our own African narratives. For a people without knowledge of their history, their origin or their culture are like trees without roots. Earlier this year, our region was saddened by the passing on of the President of the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Comrade Hage Geingob. He was a liberation hero, visionary statesman, and a pragmatic leader who served not only the people of Namibia, but SADC as a whole. A staunch defender of African independence, freedom and non-interference in our internal affairs, his unwavering commitment to justice, dignity, and equality will be treasured for posterity. May his soul continue to rest in eternal peace. Your Excellencies, Your Majesty, it is my humble and sincere hope that the SADC year ahead will enable us to accelerate the implementation of regional projects and programs. These include those related to cross-border energy projects, transport infrastructure development, as well as climate proofing, our agriculture, and growing our manufacturing, tourism, SMEs, among other critical sectors of our respective economies. As member states, let us double efforts through innovation to improve on our implementation scoreboard, while scaling up the regional industrialization integration agenda. None of our countries must be left behind. As I conclude, may I once again express my sincere appreciation to you all for your calls for the immediate and unconditional lifting of the illegal sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe by our detractors in the West. We strongly condemn the use of sanctions and other coercive measures as a foreign political tool against developing countries. By the same token, allow me to call for the end of the conflict in Palestine and appeal for the respect of United Nations resolutions on the two-state solution. Similarly, the independence of the peoples of the Western Sahara is long overdue. Zimbabwe is a friend to all and an enemy to none. We firmly believe in dialogue and diplomacy as the sustainable route for the resolution of any conflict or any disputes. We thus stand ready to play our part for consolidating peace, unity, security, and the stability of our SADC region, and silencing the guns on our African motherland continent. Going forward, as I humbly assume this chairmanship of our august bloc SADC, I want to assure the people of our SADC region that Zimbabwe will continue to advance the cherished founding principles, the values, the goals and objectives envisioned by the great luminaries and the founding fathers of our region. A luta continua, victory is certain. With these remarks, may I once again welcome you, Your Majesty, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, and wish you all a productive and fruitful summit and stay in Zimbabwe. Long live SADC unity, long live solidarity, long live our independence and freedom, long live African unity. God bless you all. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We may take our seats. Once again, congratulations to His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Dambuza Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, on the assumption of duty as chairman of SADC. I was going to say, allow me on my own behalf, on behalf of my family, to be the first one to congratulate him, but I think I'm among the top table to congratulate him. So congratulations, Mr. President. This concludes the opening session of this 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. At this juncture, I would like to make some announcements that will help us proceed to the next activities. With regards to the summit, at 2 p.m., His Majesty, distinguished heads of state and government, will proceed to a closed session in the National Assembly Hall. And they will emerge from there for a closing ceremony in the same hall at 5 p.m. From now, we will now proceed to lunch, and the first to leave the room will be His Majesty, Our Excellencies, the heads of state and government, followed by the First Ladies. They will proceed to the holding room from where they will be directed to lunch. After that, they will be followed by the Honorable Vice President, Dr. C.G.D.N. Chiwenga, and Comrade Kembo Mohadi, Vice President, and the Speaker of the National Assembly, Comrade Jacob Mdenda, Speaker of Senate, Comrade Mabel Chinomona, as well as the President of the Pan-African Parliament, Chief Fortune Charumbira. We will all live in an orderly manner, just as organized as SADC is, and we will live in alphabetical order. So after the heads of state and government have left, the First Ladies, our Vice Presidents, and the front row, we will then move country by country, starting with Angola, Botswana, Comoros, Democratic Republic of Congo, Swaziland, Lesotho, Eswatini. Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, last but not least, and this is our tradition, Zimbabwe, you leave last because we are the horse. I therefore wish to thank you for a very successful opening session. I'd like to now invite our heads to leave and thank the audiences who've been watching on social media and television for joining us live from the new Parliament building in Mount Hampton in Zimbabwe's capital city. My name is Super Collins Mandiwanzira, and my co-host has been Barbara Lopi from Zambia. We thank you.
Ninebongo Silenhle silo semhlaba kanye nabo baholi bemave sebatawuthatha lona likhefu kanti ke ngemva kwelikhefu batawubuya babaholi bemave esifundza lesisendasini livekati leAfrica babe netingqoqo tanganisense lapho khona babheka ukuthi baphume nemasu netisambululo tekuchubeka nekuthuthukisa livekati leAfrica kuyenaso sifundza lesisendasini livekati leAfrica. Nelibongo Silenhle ke letisombululo nato tinqumo titawube sesetivele tatiswa umhlaba wonke kokuthi ngalelanga leli nati tinqumo letithethwe futhi tibheke ukuthi tiqale kusebenta nini nekuthi titawusebenta kanjani. Sethemba ukuthi uthokote kakhulu sisakulethela bukhome wona umhlangano lapha eveni le Republic of Zimbabwe enhlokodolobha eHarare. Nisale kahle.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now